Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're just right in time for Farm Drive, where, of course, we do discuss matters agriculture and agribusiness and make sure that the science and the business side of agriculture is well understood. My name is Brian Munda, but today, as you can see, we have a special guest for us. Kindly introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, my name is Aziz.
Yeah.
I am Egyptian. I am from North Africa.
You're from Egypt?
Yeah, from Egypt.
Uh-huh.
I've been in Kenya since 2017.
Yeah.
And we are in agriculture business in Kenya since 2019.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know, once Kenyans interact with Egypt, they always remember the potato fiasco and why Egypt. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Let me talk about this. You see, Egypt is agriculture country since 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And we are a pure desert. Actually, the Nile River is the main source of water in Egypt.
Yes.
And Egyptian used to plant around the Nile River.
Yes.
Since 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
It was very historic stories and about the ancient Egyptians around the Nile rivers. And they are doing a lot of farming since 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
For the potatoes, I'll tell you. For the potatoes now, for this story about the potatoes, because you see, I'll tell you something. Maybe in Egypt, we are trying to apply the latest technology. We are trying to use the latest product. So, of course, it is. In Kenya, we have a soil issue. In Egypt, also we have a soil issues. So, but in Egypt, we came to realize a number of products which can handle the soil conditions.
Absolutely. Just hold on to that, though, because we want people to be part of this conversation. They can relate to what you're saying. Because today, Kenyans, your questions about Kenya, Egypt, comparisons will be well answered. And of course, today's conversation is all about the suitability of our soils, because right now we are approaching the planting season. Actually, some have already started planting, and of course the long rains are here. But again, as you've said, soil has always been the key issue. And I want these people watching us and listening to us to be part of this conversation, because you can continue following us on AFarmers Media on Facebook, AFarmers Media on Twitter, AFarmers Media on YouTube, and AFarmers Media on Instagram. Of course, you can also be part of this conversation by also following on Africa Farmers on Facebook. You can be part of, bringing in your problems, because today we have an expert, today we have a farmer who can help us understand what we need to know about ourselves before the planting season kicks in. So feel free to be part of this conversation. Aziz, welcome. That's the Kenyan vibe right there. We first hammer you and ask you why you're different from us, and then I'll start understanding you.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll start from this point. So you see, what are the main chronic problems farmers are facing?
Yes.
Mainly soil and soil issues is the most important.
Yeah.
And soil issues is not seeable and is not visible for the farmers.
Yeah.
They are not realizing what is going on in the soil, which is very important to the planet to have a good harvest.
Yes.
So we have realized that the soil pH one of the most important.
Yes.
So nutrition uptaking from the soil is related to the soil pH.
Yes.
So soil pH, if it is acidic or alkaline, so I could say if your soil pH is around 7 to 7.5, you are taking only around 60 to 70% from the nutrition elements.
Yes.
But if your soil pH is from 5.5 to 6.5, you are increasing the uptaking for those nutrition elements up to 90%. So the most important question now, how we can change this soil pH, and how we can change the soil condition, how to give the planet the best environment in the root zone area to uptake these nutrition elements. So we were lucky in Egypt to know more about a new technology. It's called polymeric acid substance. It's called Pest technology, PAS, polymeric acid substance. This polymeric acid substance, it is very unique substance which it can buffer the soil pH and water pH in both ways, up and down. So if you have acidic water and alkaline soil and you are applying this substance, it will buffer both of them. It will buffer the acidic to neutral, and it will buffer also the alkaline to neutral. So if your pH is 3 or 4, it will buffer to 6. Or if your pH is 8 or 9 or even 10, it will bring it down to 6. This new technology, we were lucky to know more about it in Egypt in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2015, actually, in the exhibition, agriculture, it was a big exhibition in Egypt for the agriculture and farming. Then there was a session. Foreigner people, they came from outside the country. They have given other session about this new technology. Then we realized the technology, and we realized the product, and then we have started using samples and the trials in 2015. And now we are using this product since 2015 in Egypt up to 7-8 years. And now it is well-known product in Egypt, and we are producing a lot of farming, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables by using these products. And we are getting very good harvest. We are getting fruit maturity, uniformity, size, color, and taste is better. All of them are better than without this new technology. So before, we were struggling. We were struggling because of the soil issues, soil pH issues, some issues in the soil. But after applying this new technology and after using this new product, we are very okay, we are very good, we have a very good farming.
Yes. And of course, talking about the conditions of our soils right now, how different can you say is the soils from Egypt to soils in Kenya? You've been in Kenya for 5 years, but with the Kenyan farmer for 2 years. And you've understood some of the soils that they're facing. In Egypt, you've also been there. Where do we draw the contrast?
Okay, I'll tell you, there's a huge difference between the Kenya soil, different type of soils, and the Egypt. Egypt, actually, we have a desert, sand, and a cotton soil. We have only two kinds of soils in Egypt, most probably. So we have the sand and the cotton soil. But in Kenya, we have different kind of soils. We have different regions. It has different kind of soils and with different conditions. So the good things with the technology we have, whatever the soil condition or whatever the region, once you are going to apply this new technology and the new product to use in your shamba, it will work. Because it works with acidic soil, which maybe it is very common in Western Kenya. They have some, what my information. In Western Kenya, maybe the soil is acidic.
Very acidic.
Other places, it is alkaline. And the good thing is in this new technology, it works in both sides. So it works with acidic environment, and it works only also with the alkaline environment. And for both, for water and soil. So it is very important to know more about it and what we have used and what we have realized in Egypt 7 years ago. It is here in Kenya right now. I am here in Kenya today to learn and it also tell the people in Kenya about this new technology. So the product, it is here almost since 2020. And we are in the market, by the way. It was a very interesting story in Egypt, and we are now trying to have the same story in Kenya.
Absolutely. Where does Egypt beat Kenya? in terms of production?
Yeah, I could say, because Egypt is a huge country, our population is 120 million.
Okay.
Yes, 2022 we are almost 120 million population. I don't want to say it beats or, but we have of course the Nile River, and we have a plenty of water around the Nile River, so we have a lot of farming, and we have a Mediterranean weather. So maybe Mediterranean weather, we have oranges, we have tangerine, we have mango, we have fruits, we have all vegetables, we have wheat, we have maize, the same like Kenya, but the difference is equatorial weather. Like for example, we are very common with oranges, citrus. We are very common with the oranges and tangerine.
Yes.
But in Kenya, they are very common with the pineapple, avocado.
True.
Yes. So there is, you see, of course, the Mediterranean weather is different than the equatorial. So some crops are here doing very well, and some crops here are here is doing very well. But I could say in Kenya that moderate weather is very, very good, and it is very unique in Kenya. That the temperature the whole year between 2022 up to maximum 30 in majority of Kenya. Okay, central Kenya. So that moderate weather is very good to plant flowers, very good to plant avocado, to plant pineapples, and to plant vegetables, to plant a lot of things. And let me tell you some things very unique in Kenya. Like for example, we have in Egypt, we have only one harvesting season. Oranges we harvest only once a year.
Wow.
Mango we are harvesting once a year. But because of this unique and climate conditions in Kenya, you have two harvesting season. Avocado you have, coffee avocado you have 2 seasons, coffee you have 2 seasons, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And you can plant maize the whole year.
Yeah.
In Egypt, no, my friend, we have a summer crops, we have a winter crops, because our climate is totally different. In summer, the temperature up to 45, very hot.
45.
Yes, and the humidity is very high. In winter, the temperature from 5 to 15, 5 to 15. So the difference is around 30 to 35 degrees between summer season and winter season. So we have crops in summer and we have crops in winter. So we cannot plant the whole year the same crop. In Kenya here you can plant maize the whole year. You have coffee harvesting 2 seasons. Avocado you have 2 seasons. So you
That's
see
interesting.
how lucky Kenyans are.
Of course, talking about Kenya and Egypt, high cost of fertilizers is the biggest problem, I would say, right now. Kenyans are facing, and not only Kenya, but the globe also.
Yes, it's a global challenges.
Yes. How are you coping on in Egypt? What's the situation first?
Okay, how we are coping right now, we have to know more about the latest product. We have to know more about the latest technology. We have to know more about the product which can optimize our cost. Okay, now I could say now we have, what are the problems you are facing during planting? Or what are the problems you are facing, the farmers are facing during planting? We are facing, you see, leaching, for example. We are placing a lot of money in the soil, right? We are placing a lot of money in the soil. We are buying fertilizers, we are buying chemicals, whatever. And all these fertilizers in the soil with the rains or with the irrigation systems, it leach. Leaching, it means the nutrition elements, it will go far away from the root zone. So we have new products which can look and hold those nutrition elements around the root.
What's the concept?
The concept, it is a water soluble fertilizers. Once you place it in the water, it will convert the water to act like oil with high viscosity. Okay, and it has micro ingredients, and it has a very unique composition in terms of soil conditioners, pyruvate promoters, humic acid, fulvic acids, bacillus. So all of this combined together, it will help the soil to hold those nutrition elements around the root. So with the traditional fertilizers, if you are placing the fertilizers today, after 2 weeks, it will be very far from the root zone. But if you are applying this new technology and the new products, it will hold and log those nutrition elements around the root. And once you are looking and holding those nutrition elements around the root zone, and you are buffering the soil pH, you are going to enhance the uptaking.
Yes.
And then you are going to maximize the utilization for the other fertilizers you are applying.
Absolutely. I think we're going to take a short commercial break.
Yeah.
So that we can first take time to think about what you've been saying.
Yes.
And of course, once we after the break, of course, I want us to talk about the science itself now.
Yeah.
The science of how things do happen. Because I think this is what farmers don't know yet.
Yes.
But again, hold on to that thought because we'll be coming back in just a few.
Okay.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the taproot portion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there is at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Welcome back on air. This is AFarmers Media. Welcome to the Farm Drive Show with me, Brian Munda. And of course, I have a special guest from Egypt. Guys, I'm sure you have very many questions about Egypt and Kenya. Welcome, Aziz.
Welcome, my friend.
Yes.
Karibu.
Karibu. Right there. So now, we have been talking about the suitability of our soils in the coming planting season. The long rains are here, close to here with us, and of course you need to prepare yourself. Information, as we always say, information is key. Information is what is always the difference between you and other farmers. As long as you're well informed, you're always you will still remain in the business of farming, because agribusiness is a science. And the business side, you can be part of this conversation on Facebook, AFarmers Media, on Twitter, AFarmers Media, Instagram, AFarmers Media, and of course, even on Facebook, you can still follow the conversation on Africa Farmers Club. Welcome, Aziz, and let's continue from where we left. We said that we're going to break down 3 key elements in this planting season.
Yes.
Kenyan farmers might face, are somewhat definitely going to face. One is, of course, the root density, uptake of nutrients.
Yes.
Our soils might have enough nutrients or need some nutrients. We're going to use fertilizer.
Yes.
But then how well our roots suitable to pick up some of these nutrients?
Yes.
Again, we did talk about the coming rains, which are going to take away some nutrients from the soil itself.
Yeah.
And the last thing that we also talk about is the pH.
Yeah.
Now, let's break down everything, the science bit of it. Let's start with the pH.
Yeah, okay. You see, the most important is not only placing the fertilizers in the soil. We are placing a lot of fertilizers in the soil.
Yes.
But there is a step ahead that we are supposed to give the roots the best conditions in order to uptake and absorb these nutrition elements.
Yes.
So now, again, all the products in the market, I could say it's mainly focused on the nutrition elements. It has NPK, it has calcium, boron, magnesium, phosphate, whatever.
Yes.
It is very rich with the nutrition elements.
Yes.
But we have such a kind of product which it has the soil conditioners combined with the nutrition elements. So the product we are talking about today is called Kokoli.
Kokoli.
Yeah.
That's an interesting word.
It has a very funny story, very interesting story.
Wow.
About this Kokoli, it has made from snails.
From snails?
Yes, from snails. This is a polymeric acid substance technology, Pest technology. It has been founded on the snails. Then they have taken those snails to the lab for many years to realize the secret behind those snails, the polymeric acid substance. This polymeric acid substance is a technology to buffer the soil and water pH in both ways, up and down, acidic or alkaline. Okay. So it will take us again to the pH point.
Yes.
The pH point, majority of farmers and all Kenyan agronomists, they know very well. We have to maintain our soil between 5.5 maximum up to 6.5 to 7.
Yes.
In order to release the nutrition elements around the root and make uptaking process or the utilization for these nutrition elements is easy for the planet. So we have this product to buffer the water and the soil pH in both ways, which is very unique. We have one substance, it can treat the acidic soil, also at the same time it can treat the alkaline soil. That is very unique in Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
It is something very unique and it is very, very, very good. So now we need to buffer the soil pH, we need to give the roots, motivate the roots. You see, we need to give them the ideal condition. We need to give the roots the ideal condition. Then we need to motivate the roots. you need. Then this cocoa also will hold and lock the nutrition elements around the root. Once it will hold and lock the nutrition elements around the root density, it will be very strong because they are feeding well. I have farmers from Kinangop. Yes, he told me, Aziz, this cocoa let the planet eat too much.
Yes.
So the planet is eating. The planet is eating.
Yes.
So why the planet is eating? Because you are giving the nutrition elements with the proper soil condition combined together in one product. Then once you have a healthy roots will have a healthy planet. Then the healthy planet will have a healthy roots.
You say a healthy root promotes healthy plant that promotes healthy
fruits.
Healthy fruits.
Healthy roots, healthy fruits.
Healthy, absolutely.
Yeah, healthy roots. If you have a healthy root,
yes,
you will have a healthy fruits. Healthy fruits, it means you have a good harvest.
Are we saying that roots are non-negotiable as long as your roots must be very healthy?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yes, of course, because those are the main. You see, this is the area to uptake those nutrition elements. So once you are uptaking those nutrition elements in the right way, of course, we'll have a good productivity.
Of course, I will mention a few places in Kenya where we're facing huge pH misbalance. Of course, we talk about some parts in Meru, some parts in Western, and of course some parts also in Central, where some produce don't do so well. And of course, people even have forgotten to plant some produce right there. And of course, my question has always been, as you said, we have good weather. Of course, we have water again, and we have even resource. We have human resource, of course. But then, is there a way that we can still repair? You see, we can repair our soils and make sure that those plants that cannot be planted in these parts can be planted lastly. Is there a way we can repair our soils?
Yes, this is what we are doing right now. That we, because of the soil issues, I am moving in Kenya. I have been in Timau, Mount Kenya.
Been in Timau?
Kajiado, yes. I have farmers in Timau. We have farmers in Isinia. We have farmers in Naivasha. We have farmers in Nakuru. We have farmers in Karatina. We have farmers in Nyeri. So we are moving a lot. Then sometimes we see some crops is not performing well.
Yes.
In some certain regions. So we have seen the potatoes in Western Kenya, sometimes it is not functioning well. We have seen other crops, also maize, sometimes is not getting a good harvest because of the soil issue. When we sit with the farmers and we check what is the soil condition and we check what is there, we found that still also they have soil issues. And they have applied the product and now they are very happy. We have farmers in Karatina, they are not getting maize at all. They are rain feed farmers. And they are not investing too much, just maybe little manure. They have used only per acre around 10 kg from cocoa.
10 kg. How much are we talking about 10 kg? In an area where we have high fertilizer prices, what are we talking about the 10 kg?
10 kg about the cost.
Yeah, the cost.
The cost is from 3,500 to 4,000 shilling. The cost per acre. 3,500 shilling to 4,000 shilling. And they have applied 3 times. They have applied through foliar irrigation. They have the pump, okay? They spray the planet. And it works with them very well.
Wow. You're saying 10 kgs, 3,500 to 4,000 shillings.
Yeah.
Do you know what's the retailing price of fertilizer right now?
I know the challenges in the market, and it is a global crisis actually we could say. So it is not only in Kenya.
Yes.
The fertilizers prices are going up everywhere, And I know how the farmers will suffer and struggle. So that's why we need to know about some new products which can help us in terms of soil conditions and nutrition elements. And as well as it is affordable in terms of cost. So instead of applying 200 kg and instead of applying 300 kg from X fertilizers, we are talking about 10 to 20 kg.
Yes.
Maize plantation,
Yes.
we can use only 10 kg.
Yes.
And people are getting very good results.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, before we can move on to the conversation where we are going to talk about the coming season and how we can unlock our soils. Of course, the long rains are close to here with us, and of course, the planting season is, of course, around the corner. In some parts of the country have already started. Of course, planting and even preparing. And of course, it's always very good to understand that if you prepare yourself earlier than the rain-fed farmers, you'll have a 1 month advantage when it comes to the marketing of your product. And many farmers right now have started treating their seeds with different products. Today, I want us to talk about the Seed Boost from Omnia, which is used actually in the primary stage where you have to treat your seed. Of course, right now different farmers are treating their seeds so that they can prepare for the incoming planting season. And of course, the treating of the seeds, of course, make sure that your seed is fast, high quality seed. And of course, once it goes to the soil, the roots are going to do very well. As we said, of course, very healthy roots promote very healthy plants, which as a ripple effect, very healthy product. And of course, this message has been brought to you by Omnia Nutrology, which says that the science of growing starts from the primary, where you prepare your seed. And of course, Omnia is always there for you and always has been there for you, even in the coming planting season. As we continue this conversation, you say that this period, the planting period is here, and we have talked about the pH. We've talked about even the types of roots that you're going to have, and of course also the leaching. But my question has always been to a local farmer out there. We've always had problems with products, and the truth is that different farmers have been approached by different companies, and every time we always look for the unique selling point. This product is here, Kokoli. How different can you say is your product? What's the unique selling point above others? You've said fertilizer, you don't need to use, at some point you don't need to use some fertilizer, at some point you will need to use some fertilizer with Kokoli. How do you first apply, and what's the unique selling point?
Yes, the selling point for this product, it has a unique substance.
Yes.
It's called the polymeric acid substance.
Yes.
This polymeric acid substance, it can buffer acidic and alkaline environment.
Yes.
So if you have acidic water and alkaline soil, it will buffer both of them.
Yeah.
If in Western Kenya, for example, you have acidic water and acidic soil, it will buffer both of them. So this polymeric acid substance is a unique substance, which is available in these products. It's called the Kokoli.
From snails.
Yeah, and it has been made from snails. So the selling point here, you have only one substance which it can buffer the water and soil pH in both ways. Okay, that's very, very important.
Yes.
And it will help a lot of farmers.
Yes.
The second selling point, that is a granular water-soluble fertilizers. At granular water-soluble fertilizers, the Kokoli solubility is 100%. So there is no impurities, no residuals,
Yes.
nothing remain to block your irrigation system. So Kokoli, if you have drip irrigation, it will work very fine. If you have a foliar irrigation, if you have flush irrigation, if you are a rain-feed farmers, it will work. And the good thing is in cocoa as well, it has no any contradiction with other fertilizers. You can mix with other fertilizers. So you can mix the cocoa with other fertilizers, and you can drench in the soil. You can using in your fertigation system through the drip lines. You can spray. So also you will not find a product. It can be used for all kind of irrigation system, and it can be used also for all kind of farmers. Why we are using cocoa for all kind of irrigation system? Because of the high solubility of the product.
Yes.
And why we are applying cocoa in different regions? Because it can treat the acidic environment, as well as it can treat also the alkaline environment.
Yes. And of course, we're talking about mixing. You know, we have had different products come in, and you told that once you use this product, you don't need to mix with other fertilizers. But then, as I can hear from you, you can mix some, you can use the product alone. When do I know when to mix? What's the criteria for mixing? When the criteria for not mixing?
No, with the other fertilizers you can mix.
You can
no
mix,
problem.
yeah.
Okay. So with whatever NPK in the market, whatever Yara product in the market, whatever DEB there or CAN or MAB, you can mix a cocoa. You can mix a cocoa. Like for example, if you are using 100 kg of DEB, and now you want to mix a cocoa, you can mix 20 kg of cocoa with 70 kg or 80 kg from DEB together. You minimize little from the amount you are supposed to use, and then you can add cocoa. Then you blend together, then you broadcast in the soil during planting. Okay? Then that one you can mix with all kind of fertilizers by this way. So farmers are applying 3 application during the crop. They can mix cocoa in the 3 application. Okay? And blending the fertilizers in the soil. Maybe they can also spray. Cocoa is water soluble, 100%. They can spray. So they can have 1 or 2 application spray. It will work also very fine.
This twice and I'm okay for the season.
3 times, yeah.
3 times.
You can spray once or 2, and for application, some farmers are using 1 application, others are using 2, others are using 3, right?
Yes.
So you can use it. You can, if they are using the fertilizers 1 or 2 or 3 times, and 3 times they can mix the cocoa, and they can spray once or 2. Some farmers, maize plantation, they are not using fertilizer, maybe once during plantation.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes, they can use cocoa, then they can spray cocoa another 2 times.
And you're done.
You are done.
You cut your costs.
Yeah, you cut your cost, you have a good harvest, you have a very good productivity, you have a fruit maturity. It is good, very good.
Of course, yeah. So, then as we take another short commercial break, you have seen this product work in Egypt. Which other country?
No, this cocoa, it is international brand. It is now in more than 50 countries.
50 countries.
I can tell you this product, it is widely used in India. Indians are using this product too much. It is also used in Japan. So this product is Asian product. The factory is in China. It's a Chinese product. And the patent owner is Mr. Sun. He's a young boy, used to work with the snails.
Okay.
And he's the one to realize the secret behind those snails, and he is the one to have the patent for polymeric acid substance. He's a Chinese, and the factory is in China, but this product is commonly used in Asia.
In Asia.
In Asia, very, very in Korea, Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia, many countries, even South America. Even South America now they are using the product. Middle East countries we are using, Egypt we are using, North Africa we are using, Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Syria, even Syria they are using the product. So many countries, this product in less than 8 years, I could say maximum 8 years,
yes,
they are in 50 countries. 50 countries.
50
We
countries.
see how the product penetration in different countries, and it succeeds.
Talking about market penetration, Kenya, how many years? How has been it so far?
It has been landed in Feb 2020.
Those are 2 years.
Direct before the lockdown, maybe we had some little bad luck because the lockdown came in March, but it is 2 years in Kenya right now.
Yes.
And even during the pandemic, Corona pandemic, despite the movement restriction, we have succeeded to work with a good number of farmers in Kenya. And actually 2021, it was a good year. So 2020, it was a little bit hard because of the curfew, because of the movement restriction, because of we are not supposed to gather farmers and educate farmers at that time, and even farmers visit, it was banned. So 2020 it was little bit hard, but 2021 it was good. So we have succeeded to visit a good number of farmers. We picked a good number of farmers. We are working now with a good number of farmers in Kenya.
And of course, Kenya.
Yeah.
You ventured heavily on the large scale farmers?
Yes. Actually, to be honest, our main focus now is the large scale farmers. Now also that's why today we are here. We need also to take the small scale farmers. We need to pick the small scale farmers. We need to let them know more about the product because it will help. And I could say Cocoli is the fertilizers of the future. I'm saying again, Cocoli is the future, the fertilizers.
Exactly.
The future for fertilizers is Cocoli.
Yes.
The future fertilizers is Cocoli. Because you see, you have only one product. It has more than 20 ingredients. It has a soil conditioners, it has NPK, it has micronutrition elements, it has humic acid, it has fulvic acid, it has bioroot promoters, it has bacillus to improve the immunity system for the planet. So now we are working with the small scale farmers, and we have a good number of large scale farmers, and we succeed to penetrate the market during the pandemic.
Absolutely. During the pandemic, which came in early 2020, March, many sectors did go down.
Yeah.
Very many key sectors, manufacturing, talk about any other sector, real estate and everything. But then two main people did flourish.
Yeah.
We're talking about farmers,
Yeah.
and of course, maybe construction and everything around there. But then, talking about farmers, we're in the road to recovery, post-COVID-19. Where do you think the next year, in terms of farming, from a general point of view, right now, there's high costs of farm inputs.
Yeah.
And it's not only in Kenya, but also globally.
It's globally, yes.
Of course, it's climatic changes, geopolitical conflicts, as we can see them right now.
Yeah.
And of course, even the supply chain has been disrupted completely. Of course, tax regimes that have been imposed on a country like Kenya, where, of course, we have our own issues around here. Farming, where do you see farming next year, a time like today?
You see, as you just said right now, during the pandemic, many businesses and many companies, they have been badly impacted by the pandemic. But farming, it has to continue.
Yes.
Farming is life.
Yes.
Right? Farming is food.
It's basic.
And food has to be there to continue our life.
Yes.
So, despite the challenges are there, we have to continue. We have to know more about the latest technology. We have to know more about the latest product in order to take or overcome the current circumstances and
Yes.
the current challenges. I mean, for example, drip irrigation now is helping a lot.
Yes.
It's a new technology. When it came maybe 10 years or 15 years ago,
People are skeptical.
yeah, no one knows this one, and it's very costly.
Yes.
But now the most effective irrigation system is the drip.
Yes.
Is the drip irrigation, right? Also, we have to know more about the fertilizers. The challenge right now, the prices for fertilizers are very expensive.
Yes.
And to be honest, it is not affordable by majority of the farmers right now.
Yes.
And it is a big challenge right now. And if they will not use the fertilizers, the productivity, it will be very poor. And the quality for the product, it will have many issues.
Yeah.
So we have to look for a solution. We have to know more about what can help us nowadays. So of course, this cocoa I'm telling you, and I could say it will
Yes.
help a lot, and it will help a lot in this time.
All right. Thank you for the assurance that the future looks optimistic and the fertilizer
Yeah.
in the future will be
Good.
okay.
Future, my friend. The future is always good.
Yes, the future is always good.
Yeah.
And somebody told me that farmers are the most optimistic people, hopeful. Even if they fall this season, next season they still have to try and see. Well, maybe.
Life has to continue.
Yes.
We have to work. We have to continue look for the challenges and sort it out. We have to. Life has to continue, my friend.
Absolutely.
There is no option.
There's no option, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course, now we'll take a short commercial break.
Yeah.
But, apart from now the cocoa that we're going to wind up in just a few minutes, now, I'll ask you to satisfy the Kenyan mind of how farming looks in Egypt. And so far, generally, a picture of how farming looks, because well, some of us have not been in Egypt, to be honest, and how generally life is around a farmer, some of the challenges you're facing, because we love to tell our farmers how different maybe challenges we're facing, even in terms of labor. We love to know how you people handle labor. We love to know how you are coping on with climatic changes. Again, of course, these are conversations that we're going to continue in just a few. We take a short commercial break. We'll be back in a few.
A nursery bed is a small area of a yard or garden that's used for growing certain selected plants. The goal of a nursery bed is to grow young plants to a certain size at which they can be easily transplanted. A nursery bed can also be used to evaluate plants to see if they are worthy of planting in the larger garden, to observe their growth, habit, and color, or watch them for pests and diseases. A nursery bed is especially helpful for vegetable gardeners practicing succession in planting, in which a steady supply of fresh produce is maintained.
Mahindi yamekuwa chakula kikuu katika sehemu nyingi za ulimwengu na jumla ya uzalishaji wa mahindi kuliko ile ya ngano au mchele. Mbali na kuwa mahindi ni chakula, pia hutumiwa kutengeneza ethanoli, chakula cha wanyama na bidhaa zingine. Kunayo mahindi ya gume, mahindi ya ganda, yaani popcorn, mahindi ya unga na mahindi matamu. Mahindi yanalimwa sana kote ulimwenguni na kiwango kikubwa cha mahindi hutolewa kila mwaka kuliko nafaka nyingine yoyote. Shamba la mahindi linaweza kutayarishwa kwa kutumia njia za kawaida au za kilimo cha uhifadhi. Kilimo cha kuhifadhi ni pamoja na kunyunyizia dawa za kuulia wadudu zilizopendekezwa na wataalamu wa kilimo. Unaweza kutumia trekta au njia ya mikono kufanya kilimo cha mahindi. Ni muhimu kuandaa ardhi mapema ya kutosha kuruhusu magugu kukauka na kuoza kabla ya kupanda.
Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. It is not only a source of food and income, but also creates employment opportunities for many people in the world. Over 1 billion people worldwide work in agriculture, generating 2.4 trillion for the global economy. The global impact of farming on the environment is revealed that 40% of the Earth's land is now given over to agriculture. Agricultural development is one of the most powerful tools to end extreme poverty, boost shared prosperity, and feed a projected 9.7 billion people by 2050. And we, the AFarmers Media, roll the carpet for you as we welcome you to our thrilling farm visits to different farmers that educate and inspire you in different sectors in agriculture. Catch us also on our shows on all our social media platforms as we bring you educative and informative information that will help you learn and guide you on your agriculture journey to success. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits.
A very warm welcome back to AFarmers Media in the Drive Show, of course, with me, Brian Munda. Of course, today we have a special guest. As is, to be very honest with you, today I've been able to know where Egypt beats us Kenyans, of course.
We are helping each other.
Of course, but of course we have seen what you do good, better than you, and of course what you do better than us. But it's always a process of learning from each other.
Yes.
And today you're here to talk about the suitability of our soils. And of course, before we did take the short commercial break, we're talking about Kokoli.
Yes.
Now, I want you to give me some of the success stories you've had from different farmers.
Yeah, we have. You see, now we are using this cocoa with different farmers. We have using in big farms.
Yes.
They have the irrigation system. They have the drip irrigation. They are happy with the cocoa in terms of the high solubility. It doesn't have any issues with the irrigation system. There is no any blockage. There is no any problem. As well as it helps them to buffer the water and soil pH. Also, it is very rich with the nutrition elements. The feedback we are getting from the large scale farmers, the overall crop health is better, the soil condition is better, and they are minimizing the cost, and they are reducing the fertilizers and the chemical usage by around 10 to 20%.
Of course, yeah, that's cocoa for you, right there.
Yeah.
What are we? How can I, as a farmer, access some of these products right now? What's the situation?
It is available in Kenya. We have a store in Ruby, in Ruiru.
Okay.
We have another store in Naivasha.
Okay.
We have another one in Thika.
Okay.
In Makuyu. Muranga.
Yeah.
Yes. We have now mainly 3 stores, and we have a distribution network well established in Naivasha area, and Njabini, Kinangop, Engineer.
Yes.
We have started, because this is the first region we have started last year, and now we are building our network in the whole Kenya. But we are delivering the product by cargo. We have many farmers in Meru, in Timau, in Mount Kenya, in Narok. Last week we have farmers in Narok. We deliver the product to them.
Of course, this is a journey that we are going to work together, and we can visit some of these farmers and listen to them.
Yeah.
Of course, cover some of the stories and the journey so far, and how the product has been faring for them. Because here we always want to advocate for something that we'll be proud for, and we will be proud of also.
Yes.
Of course. Last question. Very curious.
Yeah.
How is farming in Egypt? Well, we are used to the Kenyan way. How is the Egyptian way?
I will tell you.
Yes.
The farming in Egypt is totally different than the farming in Kenya. You see, majority of farmers in Kenya are rain-fed.
Okay.
Right? They are waiting rains to plant. But in Egypt, we don't have rains.
Yeah.
We don't have rains. We have very few rains in north coast, in some areas around the Mediterranean Sea. We have some rains, or even the Red Sea. So our farming in Egypt is mainly rely on and depend on the Nile River.
Yes.
So our irrigation system is different. It's not rains.
Yes.
So, but even Egyptians are farming since 100 years ago.
Yes.
And they are also used to work with the latest technology.
Okay.
And they are willing to learn the new products, and they are willing to learn the new technology to help them to optimize their cost, to have a good productivity. You see, time now is very crucial for everyone. The struggle, farmers are struggling because of the prices, and we have to optimize our costs to survive. So in Kenya, it is also good. Majority are rain-fed farmers, but still also others are they have irrigation system. Like big farm, large scale farms, they have the drip irrigation. In Naivasha, they have the pivots. Pivot.
Yeah.
They have the foliar irrigation. So farming in Kenya also is very, very good, and they have very good productivity in some big farms I have seen. It is very professional. Some big farms in Naivasha, in Nakuru, in Mount Kenya, they are exporting to Europe, which is very, very good, and they have a very good product. It is from Kenya.
Of course, we interacted with some smallholder farmers from Egypt, and in Kenya, I'll tell you this for free. Labor is one of those issues. How do you handle labor in Egypt?
No, we have labels the same. When you see in Kenya, we have labels, right? And in Egypt also we have labels. It is the labels are there. It is not the challenge is well-trained labor or good laborers to handle the advanced farming.
Okay.
This is the point now. And now we need farmers to move from traditional way of farming. We have today greenhouses, we have vertical farming, we have drip irrigation, we have foliar, we have many advanced farming now that we need even the small scale to come to this side.
Yes, of course. Last, as we wrap up, and I let you go. Have Kenyans taught you some Swahili so far?
Yeah, I know little. I know Karibo. I know Samahani. I know Kuja.
Yes.
I know Okwapi. I know some little words.
All right.
Yeah.
I want you to face this camera and say, unatazama Africa Farmers Media.
Africa Farmers Media.
Absolutely. Now say that after me then. Unatazama Africa Farmers Media.
Unatazama African Farmers Media.
Absolutely. So as you go back to where you interact with different people, of course from Egypt and everywhere else, tell them unatazama Africa Farmers Media.
Unatazama African Farmers Media.
Absolutely. Go teach them today. At least you have one upper hand above them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for gracing this conversation.
Yes, thank
You're
you.
welcome again and again.
Yes.
Going to walk this journey, of course, in the coming future. And we wish you all the best in your venture, and of course, as you try to penetrate the Kenyan market.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for hosting me today.
Yes.
And it is our pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Also, it is my pleasure personally to work in Kenya.
Yes.
I love Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenya is a very beautiful country.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to work with the Kenyan farmers
Yes.
and try to do something here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell the camera Koheri.
Koheri.
Thank you very much, guys.
But you are not telling me what it means.
Oh, Kwaheri. They have not taught you yet?
No.
Okay, Kwaheri means goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Kwaheri.
Yeah, Kwaheri. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for gracing the occasion. I'll let you run a few errands, of course. We are going to take a short commercial break, and as we let you go, Aziz, thank you very much for being part of us.
Yes, thank you very much, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Amaranthus, or locally known as terere, is a highly nutritious vegetable that is cultivated and consumed as a leafy vegetable in many parts of the world. It's easy to grow, matures fast, as it takes an incredible shorter period than most traditional crops. There are many species of amaranthus, with some green and others red in color. When growing amaranthus, ensure the soil is well drained and rich in phosphorus, and most importantly, ensure the seeds are well distributed to achieve an even spread when establishing a green amaranthus field. Amaranthus is especially loved for its tender leaves and for their healthy dose of ions, vitamins, and a range of minerals.
Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. This means adhering to the correct pesticide recommendation for effective pest management. Apart from selling farm inputs aimed at increasing crop and livestock productivity, agro dealers advise farmers on how to use them responsibly.
Pesticides should be used in the right way. You buy the right pesticides, and if as a farmer you are not sure where to buy, at least you can contact your local county extension services who will be able to give you the right information on the type of pesticides that you need to buy based on the problem in the farm and how to actually mix it, or what we call dilution, and spray it, so that in the end we can all assure ourselves that the food that we are using or we are eating or we are going to harvest or grow are safe.
Agro dealers play a significant role in guaranteeing that farmers have access to some of the essential agricultural inputs that contribute to boosting agricultural productivity in a safe and environmentally sensitive manner.
Habari yako? Nzuri sana mama. Naendelea salama? Kwa salama sisi. Sasa mimi niko na shida. I have some diseased crops.
As an agrovet, when attending to farmers, ensure you ask the farmer as many questions as possible to correctly identify the farmer's problem. Most agro dealers are familiar with farming inputs and can therefore recommend a particular pesticide for a problem that a farmer may be facing. However, it is important for agro dealers to ensure that they get as much information as possible from a farmer before recommending a specific pesticide. By asking for background information like what kind of crop is involved, what kind of pest damage, what is the physical appearance of the pest, when and what kind of measures has the farmer already taken. Questions will inform the agro dealer on the nature and severity of the problem and the need for intervention to ensure that the recommendation of pesticide is effective.
Most farmers, I would say that they may not understand or they may not be able to read the labels. So this is the responsibility of the agrovet attendant to read the label and to interpret to the farmer, because the label has different instructions. It has instructions like the active ingredient of that pesticide. It has the mode of action of that pesticide. It has the rate of application of that pesticide. It has pre-harvest and pre-harvest interval of that pesticide. So if this information is not shared with the farmer will end up using the pesticide in the wrong way and also on the wrong crop.
Improper use of pesticides gives rise to potential health risks to both farmers, consumers, and is a risk to the environment. Make a pesticide recommendation based on pesticide efficacy and good farm practices as opposed to purely business reasons. Agrovets are businesses and should be considered as such. However, dealers should also beware that they have a duty towards the farmer and should endeavor to be truthful and trustworthy.
Dawa bora, mazao bora. What you plant is what you reap. And if from the onset dawa si bora, then definitely mazao si bora, because mazao is dependent on dawa. If we apply a good dawa, we are sure of good mazao and bump up harvest.
Advice on the kind of protective equipment to use when handling and storing pesticides to minimize exposure. As an agro dealer who is well versed with the proper use of pesticides, you should ensure that a farmer is aware of the safety procedures to follow when using a certain pesticide. Advise farmers on other IPM practices such as improved seed, fertility management, among other practices, to reduce reliance on pesticides.
Integrated pest management, that is, using all the methods that there are to ensure that you control your pest. You use all the tools that you have, whether they happen to be physical, like you are blocking the pest or the disease from coming to your farm. Like you can have barriers. Cultural ones, again, are also about excluding the pest or the disease. The other one is what we call biological. Amazingly, there are certain live organisms that feed on other live organisms. So in the biological control, you have a situation where an insect could be eating another insect. So you have the insect which is a good one, we call it a farmer's friend, or you have an insect which is the farmer's enemy, which is the pest. So basically you cause the farmer's friend to eat the enemy.
Other IPM techniques include crop rotation, intercropping, use of adequate fertilizer, and cultivation techniques. Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Very welcome back to AFarmers Media here on the Farm Drive with me, Brian Mwenda. And before we took the commercial break that we are from, of course, we've had a conversation with one of the farmers in Egypt, and who is also a farmer in Kenya. And they have experienced farming at different levels. And they say that the difference between Egypt and Kenya in terms of farming, of course, is the technology, the information. And of course, they need to always know what the market is offering and what to adapt. They say that in Kenya, we have better climatic conditions compared to Egypt. In Kenya, of course, we have rainfall. We can plant for two seasons. But in Egypt, well, they say that they only have one season. And the rains right there in Egypt are not as good as here. And actually, they say they don't receive any rain. They say summer rates, even temperatures above 40 degrees, 40 to 45 degrees. And it's really interesting because this reminds me of just a few months ago, early this year, when Kenya KFC they decide not to buy potatoes from farmers, even after having a shortage of potatoes that are majorly sourced from Egypt. And this brought up some uproar at different levels. And of course, from Aziz, the difference is always at the quality, and of course, how well information is consumed in Egypt. Of course, this has always been how we have always wanted to put it. Information is key. Information is what derives the difference between you and other farmers when it comes to information, when it comes to the market, production, and everything, managing labor and everything. They say that some of the problems that we face here in Kenya, they also face in Egypt. And actually, even for them, it's a little bit hard. But they say, of course, information, technology, and of course the products, they have always have to be on top of the game when it comes to products. And it's really interesting once you draw a comparison between Egypt and Kenya. Egypt is a semi-arid, I would say, predominantly semi-arid. In Kenya, of course, we have our blessed land where we're experiencing some good conditions. And this is a wake-up call to different farmers in Kenya that local problems we can solve locally, but with enough information. Of course, while in the show, some news has been coming up here where IPRA, of course, the regulator of fuel in Kenya, has said that the super petrol, the price for super petrol and diesel pumps has risen, has increased by 5 shillings, and now we retail at 134 shillings and 72 cents. 134 shillings and 72 cents on super petrol. And of course, when it comes to diesel, it's going to retail at 115 shillings and 60 cents here in Nairobi. Of course, how is this going to affect you as a farmer? If you're using furrow irrigation, it's really going to affect you because you have to buy oil, of course, fuel, I would say. And of course, last week on Friday, we did have this conversation around furrow irrigation, and of course, we had a conversation around drip, and of course, this sprinkler. And even from the conversation that we've just had a few minutes ago with Aziz, who is from Egypt, they say that even the type of irrigation matters to them. Of course, when they talk about technology, they talk about drip irrigation. They talk about controlled environments, of course, greenhouses. We have also talked with Mr. Noah about the same thing. When it comes to the future of controlled environments, a case sample of greenhouses. Have you had questions about the viability of a greenhouse under the changing climatic conditions? And of course, it is a conversation we're going to bring you on Friday on Ask the Expert, because we mind about you. We mind about how much you're putting in and how much you're gaining from your farm, because again, we're in agribusiness. Now, there isn't a price hike that has been okayed by IPRA, energy regulator. The energy regulator means that apart from even furrow irrigation, of course, if you're transporting your produce from your farm and also taking it to the market and even to different places that you're taking it, and of course, even buying some fodder for your cows, buying feeds for your animals, it's going to affect you, of course, when it comes to the cost of production. It is a high time that you plan yourself, because they say part of the reason as to why the oil prices are going high or continue rising is because of the disruption of the value chain. Of course, due to the geopolitical conditions right now in Ukraine and Russia. Remember, in Ukraine we have fuel, in Russia also we have fuel, and of course the price of oil has been on a high ever since the geopolitical war did start. And above that, also the economic post-COVID economic recovery has brought in some disruption in the supply chain. Of course, there's been so much demand, and of course, once the demand is always high, the prices at some point always hike too. And it will be really interesting to see how Kenyans do react. Of course, today, tomorrow, and even this month, because the prices right now are skyrocketing. Even the food prices, of course, I'm sure you are keeping tabs. They say we're buying wheat. Of course, we're buying wheat from Ukraine and Russia. The cost of living is going high, and of course, one of the best ways to interact, one of the best ways to curb and actually even adapt to the high cost of living right now, it's always make sure that you are in business. And even in business, you're making money and you're making a living, so that you can sit back at the end of the day and ask yourself, how am I going to beat some of these major problems? Because the cost of living is not optimistically going to go down in the next few months, in the next few days. Of course, two conditions that I didn't mention, the geopolitical war, and of course also the post-COVID economic recovery that of course we are witnessing. It is really interesting that in farming right now, we have to start planning ourselves. Even those using paraffin, of course, paraffin has not been affected. That's a plus for people using the paraffin. But again, if you continue using your super petrol and diesel, you have to think ahead and plan ahead, because these might later come to affect your unit profits. Because, well, once you disrupt the production cost, you're going to end up lowering your profit margins. Of course, I've loved today's conversation because it has shared a little bit of Egypt compared to Kenya, comparisons. And, well, some of us who have never been to Egypt, of course, we roughly have a picture in our head. And of course, even at such a time where we are looking into the high cost of living continuing to bite the common mwananchi, even those people who are not, I wouldn't say quote unquote common mwananchi. Of course, we are looking into how we can cost save. One of the best ways to cost save, of course, has been by even taking care of how you even use and manage your pesticide. That's why we say, while purchasing your pesticide, of course, some of these pesticides are very, very, very expensive. And of course, we say that ensure you buy your pesticide from licensed agro dealers and specialized shops. Of course, always request for a receipt with the product batch number. List of licensed agro dealers can be accessed from the PCBP website. Purchase pesticides that are authorized for use in Kenya. Of course, you should buy the correct pesticide for specific crops and pests as indicated in the label. Ensure the containers are closed and properly sealed. Request for appropriate measuring devices with every purchase. Ensure you buy the correct amount of pesticide. Of course, remember the correct amount and even the correct application will always make sure that you're within your budget as stipulated. Ensure you buy the correct amount of pesticide. We've said that farmers should also attend available trainings on good agricultural practices and pesticide use within their counties. Of course, it's the role of the county government to ensure that information flow happens even at the county level. Again, we did look at some of the functions of the county government. One was helping in control of pests and diseases at the county level. And of course, the trainings are always organized by the county government. And of course, you should avail in some of these trainings so that you can know, these trainings will help you know how to use, when to use, and that will go a long way in helping you cost save, because again, we are here for business. Of course, I've loved today's conversation. It's been really interesting. I won't lie to you, this is one of the best conversations I've had around here. And of course, today is that day that we say we are going to learn. And even as we come to close the show to the close of the show, of course, we want to talk about the African proverb, AFarmers proverb of the day. Of course, Madam Director, I'm sure she's going to put on screen the proverb of the day, where they say 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Basically, of course, as my guess is as good as yours, because back in the day, anger was one of those issues that was not so good. Of course, they say that it's always good to be smart enough to know when to take a slap on your cheek, of course, because 2 wrongs don't make a right. And again, it's always a wake-up call to us farmers to ensure that before you can partake any solution, I would say, any action in our farm, if you have somebody to help you in your labor, and they, for example, go against your instructions, it's always good and advisable not to pay and not to repay, but doing the wrong thing again. Remember, as I said, as a farmer, once you have an employee, you add an employer on your title. And it's always a wake-up call to us not to always make wrong out of wrong. Always look at the positive, and because that's always the African belief that 2 wrongs don't always make a right. I've loved today's conversation. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping tabs. And of course, we'll continue bringing you guests from different places, not only in Kenya, but also in Africa, but also, in the whole world. We have access and we're going to use that. And of course, you're going to learn from different people. And, we can always make a tour, a virtual tour, of course, a psychological tour to different parts of the country, of the continent, and also of the world, and make sure that we learn from different parts. Of course, it is a chance for us to continue watching AFarmers Media, continue understanding what's happening around us, and of course, as we continue planning ourselves in our farms in the coming season, it's our duty to always sit down, of course, come up with a business plan, of course, of the coming season. Plan yourself. You don't need to have a very hard business plan, but it's always good to have a plan of what you do expect, how much you're going to put, how you're going to source for some of these resources, how you're going to look into the market also, how you're going to approach the market. Market penetration is very, very, very important, because we're now talking about the business aspect of farming. Of course, we cannot compromise on some of these important aspects of production. Of course, the science, as I always say, I love saying this. Agribusiness, of course, is always the business and the science side of things. And to be a good farmer, you need to keep tabs with some of these issues and these two key components of agribusiness. Of course, it's been a pleasure bringing you up to speed with the latest things that are happening. Of course, more and more conversations are on their way, of course. We love being with you. We love informing you. And of course, you can continue watching our content on Africa Farmers Media on YouTube, Africa Farmers Media on AFarmers Media in specific, AFarmers Media on Twitter, AFarmers Media on Instagram, AFarmers Media on Facebook, Africa Farmers Club on Facebook also. You can be part of the conversation. Always go there, request to be a member of the page, follow the page Africa Farmers Club. And of course, you can also listen in to different shows. Do also create opinion polls where you can also be part of the insights that reach not only stakeholders but also people who do matter in the society and who directly affect you as a farmer. For the closure of the show, I want to thank everybody who has been part of this production, from the guests to my two directors who have done such an amazing job, to everybody who has made this conversation happen. And from me, I would say thank you very much for also taking time to watch this conversation. We love you so much.